Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I have the privilege to interview the Minnesota Whitecaps NWHL hockey player Amanda Leveille. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing good. Can you talk about how you knew that you wanted to start playing professional hockey?
Ever since I was a little girl playing hockey, I've always had the dream to play in the NHL because when I was growing up, obviously there wasn't a professional women's league yet. And I was so set on being the first girl to play in the NHL. And then my junior season in college, they announced the startup of the NWHL and paying women to play professional hockey. And then from that moment on, I was like, wow, this is super cool. I was lucky enough and fortunate enough to be able to be drafted by Buffalo. And then that kind of set off like, this is a real possibility. I could play professional hockey and get paid to play a sport, is so cool now, even looking back on it and everything. The whole journey in my hockey career has just been leading up to this. And it's been really special.
Can you talk about, of course, your time playing college with the University of Minnesota?
Yeah, there's a lot of really good memories attached to that. I was fortunate enough to be able to play in Minnesota where being a Canadian, you would think that hockey is huge there. And when I came to Minnesota my first year as a freshman, I went to the state hockey tournament and I saw like the entire XL Center filled up for a high school game, which is something I had never seen in my life before. And I was like, wow, this is just like home to me. This is so much hockey going on and so many people cheering for it. And what was really special about playing for the Gophers was not only was I surrounded by such amazing teammates and coaching staff, but I got to wake up every single day and play hockey and be around those people. And the fan base that we had at the Gophers is something truly special. My freshman year, I think we were pretty close to selling out every single game. And there's something so cool. And I say this a lot about just walking onto the ice and people high-fiving you in the stands and cheering you on and knowing who you are. It's just such an incredible feeling. And then taking the ice with your teammates and there's so many people in the stands is really incredible. And I was lucky to play on a really talented team when I was at the Gophers. My class won 3 national championships, which each one has a different memory attached to it. And each one is special in a different way. But when I think of my time at the Gophers, I don't necessarily think about all those wins, but I just think about how incredible of an organization it is and how grateful I am that I got to be a part of it. Our coaching staff held every single player to a really high standard. And a lot of the values that they preached for their program are values that I still have today. So it's very special to think back about my time at the Gophers and then be able to watch some of the kids that I'm coaching now have the opportunity to potentially play for them one day or say that they want to be a Gopher. That's just it's so cool. It's truly amazing that I got to be part of that program.
Can you talk about, of course, winning 3 times in a row, the Frozen Four?
Yeah, so that I mean, anytime you get to go to the Frozen Four is really special. It's an entire season of work built up to that point, and all the memories that you build along the way, the relationships, your teammates, everything is building up to that moment, and getting to compete in it is truly special. And I was fortunate enough to be part of 3. My first one, I was a freshman. And this is kind of crazy, but the team that I was on went 41-0. They had probably 7 or 8 Olympians on their team at that point. I didn't play in that game, so I wasn't starting. So it was a little bit of a different experience, not being the goaltender in the net, not being on the bottom of the pile, but kind of being on the top. A little bit different than my sophomore season. We went to the Frozen Four again. Unfortunately, we didn't win the national championship that year. We lost 5-4, I believe, to Clarkson, and that's pretty difficult to go through your entire season having the goal to bring home a national championship and getting so close and then not being able to take it home it's hard, especially seeing your teammates on the line upset and you really want to win just for them. But my junior year, we were back at Ritter Arena and we won the national championship against Clarkson. And that was a different type of celebration for me, as I was on the bottom of the pile. I was the starting goaltender for that. And while my freshman year, I was part of the team, and I knew that. There was also a part of me that didn't feel like I was part of the team, or that I didn't contribute because I wasn't on the ice. So it felt a little bit different. Both are special, but being at the bottom of the pile and not being able to breathe when all your teammates are on you is definitely a unique and a special feeling that I've been fortunate enough to experience 2 times in the NCAA, and then 1 time on the top of the pile. But each one is special in its own way.
How did it feel, of course, whenever you got drafted with the Buffalo Beauts in 2017?
I actually remember the exact moment that it happened, because I was out to breakfast with one of my teammates, and I think we were at a Perkins, and I didn't know if I would get drafted or anything like that. So I wasn't really following it too closely on Twitter because I didn't want to get all my hopes up. And then my teammate was like, "Oh, you got drafted." And then when I saw it was Buffalo, that was really fitting, because Buffalo is really close to my hometown, where my parents live, Kingston, Ontario. It's about 7 hours. So maybe not as close as some people might think close is, but being in Minnesota, I was about 22 hours away from my family. So thinking of playing in Buffalo was really cool, because it would be so close to my parents. They would be able to come and watch me play more games. And there's something so fun and exciting about after the game going and meeting with your family and talking with them. Those are moments that I cherish. So that was something that was really nice when I played in Buffalo. But it definitely was a pleasant surprise when my teammate said that you were drafted. She also got drafted by, I believe, the Riveters, and she played there for a year.
What did you accomplish during your time with the Buffalo Beauts?
Buffalo was one of my favorite. I mean, I'd probably say this for every team that I played on, that it was my favorite team, but one of my favorite teams, just so close. My first year, I played on a team with phenomenal players and some of the best goalie partners that I've ever been lucky enough to work with. Brianne McLaughlin, who a lot of NWHL people will know her as a legend. She saved like 72 shots in an Isabelle Cup win against Boston, who was absolutely stacked at that point. I think they had 22 players on their team, and 21 of them played on the Olympic team. So they were really good. But not only was she an awesome goalie, but she was such a great partner. She was so supportive and always there to help me and the other goaltender improve in whatever way we needed, whether that was just some emotional support, some pick me ups, whatever it was, or some tactical tips on the ice. So that was really special. And then my other goalie partner was Kelsey Newman, and she's a lot like me. She would put her goalie gear on with me, and we'd go through the towns and in Buffalo in our gear and take photos and do really stereotypical goalie things. So that was a really special year. The first year that I played there, we won the Isabelle Cup, which is kind of cool when I think back on it. It was March 22nd that I won with my team the national championship, and then exactly 1 year later, March 22nd, I was part of Isabelle Cup win again. So it kind of just goes to show you that if you're not sure what the future holds, there's always something to look forward to, and endless opportunities. And coming out of college, being a Canadian and trying to navigate my way in the US, I didn't know how it would work out, and it was pretty rewarding to win a Isabelle Cup in the first season with the teammates that I had.
How did it feel, of course, in 2017 to win your first Isabelle Cup with Buffalo Beauts?
Sorry, say that again.
How did it feel? How did it feel in 2017 to win your first Isabelle Cup?
So kind of like I was just saying, it's really special for me on a personal level, just not knowing what the future would hold after graduating from college, not knowing kind of the landscape of women's hockey, and then going from winning a national championship on March 22nd to 1 year later being a professional athlete and winning the Isabelle Cup it's pretty special. Brianne McLaughlin played that game, and it was truly incredible. And nobody thought that we would win that game, especially since Boston, I think, had only lost one game that season, and they were absolutely incredible. They were such a talented team from their goalie all the way up to their forwards. And in the room, we just had this internal belief within each other that we could do it. And when Megan Bozak scored the first goal of the game, everybody on the bench just was like, yeah, we can do this. And just such a cool feeling, especially playing for the Gophers. It was kind of almost like we had a target on our back. We were the team that people wanted to beat. And then playing for Buffalo, which was an underdog team, was a unique and cool experience. And I'm just so grateful that I got to be part of the Buffalo Beauts for a couple seasons.
What was it like playing in the AllStar Game?
The AllStar games, I've been lucky enough to have been able to play in two. My first AllStar game was actually in Minnesota. And at the time, there was no NWHL team announced yet. But I believe that weekend they might have announced that the Whitecaps were coming into the, or something along those lines. So that was really special for me because I had been spending some time in Minnesota. My now husband lived in Minnesota, so I was spending a lot of time with him, and I ended up doing some volunteer coaching. And a lot of the girls that I was coaching actually came and watched me in the All-Star game. And that was the first time that I had kids that I was coaching come and watch me, and just seeing their reaction and hearing stories about it after was really cool. And seeing their signs that they had made, for me as their coach was really cool. And obviously getting invited to the All-Star game is rewarding in itself and an honor. And I'm grateful that I got to do that. I also got to be the captain of it, which I've never been the captain of anything in my life. So that was kind of cool. And then the other one was in Nashville, and Nashville is an amazing city. That was so fun. That was just such a great weekend to be a part of. And there were so many awesome players there. Unfortunately, every All-Star game that I've been in, I think my team has lost. So hopefully people still invite me to future ones if they want, and they don't look at my record at the All-Star games because it's not that great.
What was it like to sign with the Minnesota Whitecaps after coming from Buffalo Beauts?
Like a sigh of relief, if I'm being honest. It had been a really long and difficult process for me as a Canadian in order to get a visa that would allow me to not only play hockey, but to work in the US so that I could be financially stable and be able to provide for myself. As at the time, I know the NWHL has increased their salaries by, I think, 50% for next season, which is incredible. But at the time, the salaries were not at that range where you could just live alone off them. So I needed to have another job set up. And my teammate, Winnie Brown, amazing, amazing person, amazing hockey player, great coach, owns a hockey company called OS Hockey. And she worked tirelessly behind the scenes with the NWHL in order to get me a visa that would allow me to be the goalie director for her program and to play for the Minnesota Whitecaps. So when everything came together and I had that ability, it just a huge sigh of relief, and just a lot of gratitude to everyone from the NWHL who worked behind the scenes to make that happen, to Winnie and OS Hockey, and to my parents who were so kind to me and helping me, even though they wanted me to stay in Canada. They helped me through that long excruciating process of, am I going to get a visa, to no, I'm not going to get a visa. It was a lot of up and down. So just really, really rewarding. And then Minnesota is a place that I've come to love. So to get to play professional hockey there after I didn't think that I would ever get to play in Minnesota again is really special.
How did it feel to become the first franchise player for Minnesota Whitecaps?
The first franchise player? Oh, I did not know that. But just being a part of the Minnesota Whitecaps is an honor. They've been established for so long in Minnesota, and everything that Jack Brode and the rest of the Whitecaps staff stand for is just incredible. And I'm so happy that I get to be a part of it. Sorry, my phone is like, I don't know if you can hear that, but I just got like 25 different emails. My phone is blowing up. It's quite quite distracting. Sorry, you can cut that out. You can't hear it shake, can you?
No.
Okay, good. Okay, good.
Can you talk about, of course, winning your second Isabelle Cup?
Oh, that that was pretty cool. We won in overtime, and there's just something about winning or losing in overtime that just adds an extra element of drama and emotion. I think it was Lee Steckline shot the puck from the point and it hit off one of the Buffalo Beauts players and somehow ended up going in the net. And that was such a hard fought game from start to finish. And Nicole Hensley, the goalie, who's the Olympic goalie for Team USA, played so well and made so many incredible saves. I think we probably could have won that game 3-1 or 4-1, but she played so well and kept the Beauts in the game. And the Beauts had such a strong roster as well. And a little bittersweet for me because playing my old team, there's a lot of players on there that I was lucky enough to play with and that I had grown to become good friends with. So seeing them sad after the game was a little bit difficult. And then also being really happy for myself and my teammates was a little bit of a weird emotion. But just being able to be on the dog pile with the team after was so incredible. There's a lot of players on my team, Winnie and Brooke, who has been with the Whitecaps since they started, and just seeing the emotion in their face after the game just really speaks to how much they've been a part of growing the game. And it's really cool to see that. And then all of the fans that we had there going crazy after the game. It was really incredible.
What are some of your accomplishments with the Whitecaps?
So the Whitecaps are a very talented team, from the defensemen to the forwards, and it's been so fun being able to play with them. The first season, the inaugural season in the NWHL, the Whitecaps won the Isobel Cup, which is really cool when you think back about it, and to do it on home ice is pretty special. Every year, the Whitecaps have been able to go to the Isabelle Cup final. Unfortunately, 2 years ago, or last year, actually, unfortunately, last year we weren't able to play our Isabelle Cup game because of the pandemic, which was understandable. We want to make sure that everyone stays safe, but it's a little bit difficult to work an entire season getting to that championship game. And then it was probably about 10 hours before we were supposed to take our flight. They canceled it, said they were going to postpone it, and we never ever got to play that game. So that was a little bit difficult, but we did get to play them in Lake Placid. We got to play Boston, who we were scheduled to play, and we beat them 2-1. So that was kind of a little bit of a Isabelle Cup game for our team. I'm not sure if Boston looked at it that way, but for us it was. So that was special. And then this season we were able to get all the way to the end, to the Isabelle Cup, and it was on NBC Sports, which is pretty incredible when you think about everything that had to go on in order for that to happen. Unfortunately, we got second place, but I wouldn't change anything about being on the team that I was. Is just so fun from start to finish. Everybody really bought into being the best player that they could be for the team, whether that was taking one shift a game or being out there for half the game, whatever it was. Everybody bought in and was there to support each other, and truly saw it as just all in the same goal and wanting to be an Isabelle Cup winner, which is pretty cool.
How did it feel to put on the Minnesota Whitecaps jersey for the first time after playing, of course, your college time in Minnesota?
The first Whitecaps game, I'm trying to think back on it. This pandemic has made my memory a little foggy. Some things that happened last year, I can't even believe they were only a year ago. But the first time I was lucky enough to put on the Minnesota Whitecaps jersey, we were playing at home. I think we were playing the Riveters, and we won 2-0 or 4-0 or something. And I remember pulling over the jersey and just being so excited to take the ice in Minnesota. Again, I had the opportunity to do it for the Gophers and in the NWHL AllStar Game, but as a member of the Minnesota Whitecaps in the NWHL, just so cool. And then doing it with some former teammates, Hannah Brandt, Lee Steckline, Kate Shipper. I believe those were all the Gophers at that time. We have more now with Lawrence and a couple other Gophers that are on our team, but that was so cool. I never thought I would have the opportunity to play with those guys again. And then here we are playing professional hockey in Minnesota. Pretty cool.
What is it like to be a professional goalie?
It's being a professional goalie is it's a lot of fun. It's not so much fun when you get scored on and everybody's cheering against you if you're away at an opponent's home rink. But other than that, it's pretty cool. I love hockey. My favorite part about hockey is just being on the ice and playing it with people that I like being around. And like I've said multiple times, I really enjoy playing for the Minnesota Whitecaps and my teammates there. So being a professional goalie is everything that I think I could have dreamed of as a kid, maybe even better than playing in the NHL like I thought I was going to when I was younger. But no, it's been great.
What are some of your game day rituals that you have?
Everyone always asks me if I have rituals or like routines that I have to do or superstitions. And honestly, I don't think I could remember them. And I would just stress myself out trying to do everything at the same time. I do like to play soccer with my other goalie partner, Allie Morse. She normally does it with a coffee in her hand. I don't know how she does it, but she holds a coffee and she's like juggling the soccer ball with me, and she's really good at it. I don't think I could have that balance or that ability to hold something in my hand that could potentially burn me, or if she's got an iced coffee, could just get everywhere. So that's pretty impressive. Other than that, I can't really think of anything that I would do. No, I don't really have any routines. I know that's boring. I know some goalies that like have to touch their post 5 or 6 times perfectly, have to scratch up their crease a certain way. I don't have anything like that.
What are some of your future plans whenever it comes to the Minnesota Whitecaps?
Well, I hope I can continue to play for them as long as I can. Like, I love playing for the Minnesota Whitecaps. I love being part of the NWHL. I love the fans that we get at Trio Rink. They're truly special, and they make the game so much more enjoyable. Just that atmosphere of hearing our announcer just saying our names, "Welcome to the ice, the Minnesota Whitecaps," and then hearing the fans cheer. It's just such a fun place to be in, and it's so peaceful. So I hope I can continue to play for the Whitecaps as long as they have a roster spot for me, or maybe even one day when I'm older and I'm too injured or whatever to play anymore, maybe I could coach in some way or help them in a different way.
What advice would you give upcoming college players looking to make it into professional hockey?
The best advice that I could give for anyone is continue following your passion. If you're really passionate about playing hockey and you can make a way to make it happen. Obviously, there are a lot of skills that you need to have in order to play in the NWHL. So continuing to work on and off the ice, and it's a little bit harder once you get out of college. You don't have coaches always on you watching your schoolwork or watching your sleeping habits or telling you got to get into the gym at this point. So you got to take a lot of that on your shoulders. So having a set schedule and following that out, and most importantly, just enjoying the game, especially as you're out of college. You don't know how long your hockey career is going to last. It could only be a couple of years. So really enjoy it and really make the most of the time that you have. And that doesn't just go for on the ice, it goes for off the ice as well. And make sure you're spending time with your teammates and getting to meet some of the fans that are coming to the game, because there are so many incredible fans in the NWHL.
What advice would you give upcoming current and future players that are playing professional hockey?
What do you mean by that?
What advice would you give them that are playing now and future college players looking to play professional hockey?
Did I just answer that?
No, you said what advice for college players?
Yeah. Didn't you just say college players? I'm confused. Say it again.
What advice would you give upcoming future professional players and current professional players?
Well, I don't think I can give any advice to current players. I think everybody in the league knows knows what how to play and how to enjoy their time while they're playing. So I don't think I could give any advice to them, but I would say maybe other teams don't beat the Whitecaps, don't shoot on net, just let the Whitecaps win. I don't know. I don't really have any advice for anyone my age. Sorry.
Where can my listeners find you at on social media?
Oh gosh, everyone always asks me this question. I don't even know what my handles are. I think it's at Mandy Leveille 29. Might be. I don't know. I should look that up. I think my Twitter is at Mandy Leveille 29. I think my Instagram is Amanda Leveille. I don't know. Just type in Leveille, and if you see someone who's doing weird stuff in their goalie gear, wearing it everywhere, that's me.
Thank you again, Amanda Leveille, for your interview, and best of luck in your future with the Minnesota Whitecaps.
Thank you.
You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Facebook at Brandon Sports Talk, Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at @talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Amanda, for your interview, and best of luck.
Thanks.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.